During this video, we're gonna see one of the most craziest machines of war that we have in history. Some of them, they were Russian, some of them, they were American, and OMG that we have funny weapons. We're talking about bombs that can turn the enemy into gay or something, doves that can guide missiles, or maybe mental control of the enemy. We're talking about the craziest part of the investigation of technology and whatever. As always, we're gonna start from the beginning. The first of all, 1994. It's not so long on time, but the gay bomb was a really nice, I don't know if it's a really nice, but was a really nice research, really serious, that the American made with the idea of turning the enemy gay. Because in that time, the USA military people, they have this kind of hypothesis that is not fully, completely, absolutely checked. That is the gay people, they don't have really nice performance on the battlefield. They're not so fearless. It's funny. The idea was this: throw in a bunch of hormones or pheromones or something and turn the enemy into LGBT or something. The idea is that the enemy is going to be distracted between each other, and then you can attack them and win the war with a heterosexual force. Wow, they try. This is the scariest part of all. They try. It means that they were testing on people. I don't know. I guess yes, because this is not the first time that the Americans, they were testing their own weapons inside their own military force. For example, biological, chemical, and nuclear devices were tested on the military troops. You can imagine this one. You throw the gay bomb into the enemy, and suddenly the enemy started to win. And you say, oh my God, you look handsome today, isn't it? Also, we need to remember that in the 90s, now it's completely banned, this law that they have in the military force. It was completely illegal to be gay inside the military forces inside America. Actually, if they discover that you're homosexual or you have, I don't know, a secret life, because it was the only way to be homosexual inside the military, you could be banned or fired. Actually, there were several trials of people being banned or fired because they discovered that they were homosexual. That was one of the beautiful and darkest and funny ideas that the Americans had. It's funny, there was in 1994, it wasn't in the Cold War. I'm not talking about the 60s, the 70s, the 40s. No, 1994. The Doomsday Machine. This device was developed 2 times by the Sovietics. 2 times. One was during the Cold War by the Sovietics, by the Russia. Then in 1985, they tried to develop it again with a small, funny, crazy ideas. The idea of the Doomsday Machine is a device that doesn't use any kind of human intervention. It detects the level of radioactivity around a really big area inside Russia. If they detect that Russia is being attacked by any country, maybe Americans, they can activate the most biggest, amazingly and cool atomic bomb of all time. The idea was to create a really big nuclear device. If it explodes, it's going to create something like a nuclear winter and all the world will be condemned. The main idea was simple, is to understand that if you attack that country, everybody's going to die. It's something like a deterrent weapon saying, don't attack me. If you attack me, everybody dies. After a few research that they made around that idea, they came into the conclusion that the only country that is going to be completely destroyed, yes, is Russia. You need to understand the idea of the war. The war is like a really big sphere. If you explode something in the sphere, it's just a small point. If the planet will be, flat, will be a really nice machine actually, because the area of exploding will be much more bigger. We have a video about flat earthers. That's the whole idea of the Doomsday Machine. They developed it twice and they say in 2 times. I don't know about this machine. And also they were afraid that if you have a false positive, we know nowadays that we have alarm systems that detect false positive around critical situations, and the human intervention is really important for this kind of devices. What happens if you explode, someone puts something funny funny on the code. And also we need to understand something. In 1985 we have better systems. Actually they were running on C++, I'm guessing, or some kind of Russian coding. Nowadays with artificial intelligence, I don't know. You need to see this stuff and you can understand if this artificial intelligence is going to be creating a Doomsday Machine. I don't know. I don't trust. 1944. This is the Cold War. This wasn't the Cold War. This was during the Second War. The idea was to make bats. Sorry. The weapon was the incendiary bats. The idea was to put something on the bats. Yes, it's like a small bat, like a flying vampire, with a small charges that could be incendiary or whatever. The idea is the bat is going to the enemy side. I don't know why. Maybe the bats will be a little bit more comfortable with their own owners and throwing or creating small fires. The whole idea was to set a really big place on fire, and that's how you win the war. They tested most of the fires that these bats created. They weren't so big, and also the bats like to go back with their own owners. I don't know. They feel lonely in a funny and a strange place with strange people. This wasn't the best idea of doing something, and it was cancelled, of course. Acoustic Kitty. I love this one. I don't know why everybody hates cats. I don't know why. Cats are always testing with funny stuff. The idea was to put some kind of microphone device on a cat. They need to make some kind of surgeon or wherever and put an acoustic with a microphone, and the cat need to transmit the signal to another place. Wow. It was so stupid that sounds stupid. Which kind of trouble they have with this kind of stuff? You need to put a microphone inside a cat. And the cats, they don't like to be invaded in that way with microphones. Most of them, they got sick. They look funny. If you touch the cat, you go, oh my god, what is this stuff inside a cat? Yes, it's a goddamn microphone with a transmission. In that time, it wasn't working as the cell phone devices. They use real radiation. I'm not talking that the cat is going to die by radiation. That is not going to happen, but you need some kind of radiation transmitter, and you need a receiver outside the facility to receive that kind of communications. Also, you need batteries for that, and transmission is not easy. For example, the microphones that they use in the Watergate scandal, they needed the electricity from the telephone line that is around 24 volts. It's a really big battery. They tested. The cats got sick. The idea of putting a cat on the enemy side, how are you going to do it? Most of the working places, they don't allow animals. They tried, it didn't work. It was funny. The cat looks funny. If you touch it, you're gonna discover that the cat had some kind of stuff. Putting a cat in the enemy side, it's something really hard to do it. Well, it's much more easy to trust in spies. Spies works better. Military dolphins. Another crazy device that we have from America. The idea was to put some kind of explosive on the dolphins, and the dolphins guided, I don't know how, but guided and say, you need to go over there. The dolphins will go over there and they're going to explode. We have a really big funny stuff around dolphins. They are not stupid. They know that if they do this kind of stuff, they're gonna die. That's a problem. You can train one or two, but the next dolphin, they won't like the idea. They know that if they go with this kind of devices, they're gonna die. They're not stupid. They're incredibly intelligent. Much more intelligent than other people that I know. They tested with one dolphin. This is the legend said. The legend said that they tested one. And the other dolphins, they refused to go to the next mission. You have to know something around dolphins. If you train in dolphins, I'm not a trainer of dolphins, but who cares? When one dolphin understands the trick, the other dolphins, they completely understand it. It's funny because the dolphins say, hey, where is Shim? I don't know. Do you want to go next? I don't know. Completely cancelled. Never work. Animal cruelty. Why we don't use torpedoes? Torpedoes, they are much more efficient. I don't know. You don't need to train a torpedo like 400 or 500 years and the torpedo won't refuse. I don't know. The torpedo, they don't know what they're doing. Poor torpedoes. I need to make a video about the conspiracy of the doves. It's happened that it's so short that I don't know. The idea was to train doves to go to a certain place that they want to destroy it, and the dove will guide a missile. I didn't say that. 1943, maybe we're talking about the Second War. I can understand that the technology that they had around the guided missiles in the 40s, it wasn't so good. The idea of guiding missiles with doves was understandable. They tried several times. Nobody liked it. The trainers, they love their own doves. I feel like I betraying my own dove. And most of the doves, they like to go back to their own owners. Remember, the dove doesn't explode only the missile, but the missile, when it reaches the area of exploding, is gonna kill the dove. Also cancel, as always. Oh my god. This kind of research were made by Americans and Russians. It was a really nice scientific research, I must say. They have this kind of devices. I'm talking about the psychic technology. During visions, they try to understand where the enemy is. With telekinesis, we're able to, I don't know, destroy some kind of ships or whatever. The biggest example that we have, most common from Russia, is Nina Kulakina. Nina Kulakina. It sounds a little bit Italian, not Russian. She was able to make some kind of telekinesis or moving stuff, creating really big amount of heat or whatever. Nowadays, people think that was a really big hoax. She was a really nice magician. Nobody was able to cut her making some kind of hoax or whatever, but it's the most biggest example that we have of telekinesis, if that stuff exists. The Americans, they started to see that kind of technology that they were developing and they say, well, we need to be on that. I think it's important. I don't know. And they started to research some kind of psychic people with clarividency, able to see. And they came into the conclusion that nothing worked. Because the Russians, they were really believing in this kind of technology, in this kind of research. They believe in that they have some people, they have some kind of power, psychic power or whatever, but all the investigation was debunked, nothing worked, and it was over. Sadly. Ladies and gentlemen, do you believe in any of these kind of weapons? Did you try to make psychic stuff to understand where is your boyfriend doing with this Julieta, Maria, Irina friend that he has? Yes, of course. Or you just open the cell phone of your boyfriend and that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things that YouTubers like to do, and find it out.